Now, a huge part of all of these peaks is your crosshair placement. Crosshair placement is like literally 50% of your aim. People don't realize how important crosshair placement is. You watch really good players and they're not putting their crosshair on where the enemy is. They're putting their crosshair on where the enemy is going to be or where they're going to be when they make the move. So when I'm jump shotting this guy, I actually am putting my reticle down here, like near his feet. Then when I jump, the reticle raises up to him and all I have to do is pull the trigger. Makes the aiming super easy. I line it up and then I just pull the trigger. Very, very easy. What you'll see a lot of people do is they'll aim at the enemy, they'll jump up, and then they have to pull their reticle down, and they end up missing really easy shots that would be super easy if they just lined up the reticle so it's down here and then pulled the trigger when they came up around the corner. Same thing with right shoulder peaks, right? I put the crosshair to the left of the enemy, and then I walk out to the right, and it's basically just on them ready to go. So right here, we just come around this corner, right? We're aiming more like this wall. We're aiming more like towards this wall and coming out and doing like little micro flick, right? But if I aim on the enemy and then I come out of cover, then I have to readjust and pull my crosshair back. So if I go like this and aim on him like this, if I'm like, okay, he's right there. Okay, here we go. And then you have to come back and go to the left. So it's better to aim a little bit to the left. And then when you come out, you can do a micro flick to the right. But in most cases, you're going to be right on them if you're aiming slightly to the left of your enemy. And that's just going to change depending on how close you are, how much of that correction you have to make. And that crosshair placement with the right shoulder peaks is even more important left and right when you're at close range. Because if you're at really close range, your enemy's actually going to be like, closer to you, and all that lining up is even more important, because if I put my crosshair right on this guy as I come around the corner like this, it's going to end up to the right of him if I step over too far. Here's the best map to improve your aim and movement in Fortnite Zero Build.